All right, let me tell you about Golden Sun. This is the second Red Rising book. Um, uh, so I'm just gonna use the character names. If you don't know them, sucks to suck. So Darrow, he is now. It's cut forward to him in the academy. The academy, like basically, it's the place where the arch governor sent him to learn how to captain like spaceships and fight space wars. He is now there's two people left, him and Cassius's brother. Cassius is the guy from the first book that like he killed his other brother. So they got some beef going on, and but Dara's about to win. He's destroying. He has like six big spaceships. I'm imagining them as like the big ones from like Star Wars, those big triangle ones. He's captain. He's got six of those, and then I think Claudius is the name. No, Claudius is the arch governor's son. Caxus, something like that, is the other guy. Cassius's brother. He's the other one that's left, and he's got one ship left, and they're like he's hiding on the other side of a planet, and they're just kind of waiting it out. They're like, "Come on!" And like his crew's like, "Bro, we just gotta like, come on!" And then, but Rock is his second in command there, or his advisor still. I don't know. Rock's kind of just the advisor figure throughout this, but he is being like, "Dude, yeah, I just waited it out." But he hasn't slept in like a week. He's like, "You know what? Fuck it." And so they send out all their ships. They have like a whole plan where they kind of he low key's a little stupid with this. He sacrifices a couple ships to go around, and then like Cassius's brother is like, "Oh, free pickings," so he starts shooting at him. But little does he know, Darrow sent out another few ships behind that are like not showing up on the radar, and then they appear and start destroying it from behind, and he wins. And he's like, "Fuck yeah, let's go! We're going back home to celebrate." And as he sets his ship sail back to Mars, I guess, wherever the Academy was stated. I think it's Mars. Maybe it's the moon. Luna is what they call the Earth's moon, because they got names for all the moons of all the planets now. But as they're going back, all of a sudden they see a big old red dot on the radar, and they're like, "Oh shit, what is this?" I should also, actually, no, I'll do this after. And guess what? It's them pulling the fucking Star Wars where they ran the ship into another. Cassie's brother had another ship that they thought they destroyed, and he just full on beams it right at Darrow's ship. Darrow and his crew is now, so it's Rock, it's Victra, that's the sister of the girl from the first book that like, the one that was the third head. There's like there's Darrow and Cassius as like your joint group, and then Titus, the big brute guy, and then the Antonio girl. Victor is her sister, but she's kind of cooler. She also just is full on just horny out of her mind, just flirting nonstop with Darrow and I think other guys through like she down bad. But so they get rammed, and they're like, "Darrow, we gotta get to the escape pod." Everyone gets in the escape pod, except Darrow. He sees some blues. The blues are the ones that are like, they literally just matrix themselves into the ship so that they can communicate faster, and they just control everything with it. And they're just not abandoning station. They're like, there's this one guy just chilling. He's like, "You know what? I can save us." And Darrow's like, "I can't leave him." Blah blah blah. And he runs to go save him. Darrow also has a Pink as his steward, basically his assistant. He don't be fucking her. She's not a sex slave to him, even though she is a Pink, which they are just straight up sex slaves. But he just treats her as like kind of like his servant, which I guess is better than nothing. But that is, what's her name? Fuck, I forgot her name. Either way, she's like, she's refusing to go without him because she's like this just kind old lady. She's pretty nice. Even though I say old, it's probably she's like 24 because she hit the wall and they cast her out from the why am I forgetting all the words? The moon place. Either way, so she stays out of the ship with him. Plus, also, I think she just wasn't permitted to go in the escape pod because they had limited space. But he has to go save the blue, and then the ship crashes into them, and he gets flung into the wall, and it fucking knocks out. And then the pink, she's like, Darrow, you gotta wake up, blah blah blah, and gets him up. She's like, "You're gonna die if you don't get back to your bedroom's escape pod." And so they run back there. They get joined by a group of grays. Those are like the police guys or like security guards, basically on this one. And they're clearing the way from everyone else. It's like, dude, please save our lives. Like, all the escape pods are gone. You gotta let us in with you. Please help us, save us. And then he just has to ignore them because he's got to go save himself. And so they make it back to his room. And then there's 4 spots and 6 people. And Darrow's like, you know what? My pink's coming with me. She's cool. And then one of the grays, he's like, dude, I'm like 2 weeks from retirement. Like, fuck that. I'm getting on this. You can't stop me. He pulls up his gun, pointing to that Darrow. And then another gray just fucking shoots that guy in the head. She's like, you do not do the, nope. We don't rise up. Get it? Because red rise. And so now they're down to 5 people. And they just, one guy's like, you know what? I guess I'm the lowest rank. I've been here the least. Fuck. I'm out of it. And so they fly away. It's Darrow, the pink, the girl that shot the other gray, and then one other dude. And they make it to safety. They get to one of their other ships, and then he gets in that ship, and it's kind of weird because, like, actually, I'll explain this after. But he gets on the ship, and then they have this thing called it's like an iron fist or something. It's like basically just a big metal suit, and what it's meant for is for like when they gotta send a gold down to like a planet, he just shoots down in that suit, and then the suit's like an Iron Man Hulk Buster suit, just goes crazy like with it. And so Darrow's like, you know what? They pulled a Star Wars on me. I'm gonna do it to them. Set aim to their bridge on their ship, and they're like, wait, what? He's like, do it. And they're like, fuck, okay, I guess. And they aim it at him, and they're like doing the countdown to shoot him because it's like a railgun system. Shoot it out. It's gonna be speedy. He it's like 3, 2, and then it gets cut off, and the teacher's like, nope, you're out. You've lost. Which is crazy to me because he still had like 5 ships left. I don't know how he lost with that, but you know, it'd be like that sometimes. Yeah. So Darrow came in 2nd place. They go back to the academy, and it's like a whole like praise thing, like, whoa, yeah, you did it. Cassius's brother, that I can't even remember your name. You won, congrats. And then Darrow's sitting there, he's like, I came 2nd. Fuck. And he's pissed off because the Arch Governor said, listen, you gotta, like, it's okay if you don't win, but you can't let the Bolognas win. The Bolognas. That's Cassius's family. They're the Bolognas. I'm gonna call them Bolognas because I like that better. So he's pissed at himself because he failed that in that regard, and also he wants to be the best because he's got to rise up to the top and take over the planet. So he lost, and Arch Governor's pissed. They go back to Mars, and they're at the Arch Governor's like palace, and he calls them into the room, and they're talking. They're just kind of talking like some bullshit. I don't even remember what it was, to be honest with you, but it introduces us to Pliny. Pliny is a politico, as they call him. He's another gold. He just he likes to whisper sweet nothings into the Arch Governor's ear and just rise up politically power. He's like kind of his advisor in a way, but he hates Darrow. They do not get along. He's always talking trash to Darrow, calling him stupid. He's like, he's a simple-minded fool, blah, blah, blah. But it introduces us to him there, and then Arch Governor's like, all right, guys, leave the room. And then they do, and then Darrow is there, and he's like, buddy boy, Also, I gotta preface this with this whole time, Cassius's family, they have a bounty basically on Dara's head. They're like, we gotta kill him. Like, apparently every night the mom at dinner is like, she has her servant bring her an empty plate, and then they like lift off like the dome thing above it, and then she's like, this should be Darrow's heart. My family clearly hates me that they haven't put this on here, but nobody can attack him because he's protected by the Arch Governor of Mars. But now the Arch Governor's like, Darrow, I'm gonna have to cut your contract. You're getting sold to another family, like NBA draft. You're going, no, actually NFL. I know better, I guess. You're going. Who won this past one? I think it was San Francisco. Whoever he's like, let's go with the last one, Patriots, because I know Tom. You're going from the Patriots to the Cleveland Browns, bro. Like, you're cooked. You're out of here. And they were like, dude, they're gonna kill me. Like, I'm fucked. And he's like, shouldn't have lost. And then so their whole thing is he's got until the, what's it called? There's this big ceremony on Mars, not on Mars, on the moon, on Luna, the Earth's moon, because that's where the sovereign presides. So the sovereign's like she's the monarch, the queen of all the universe or solar system. That's about as far as they've gone out. She's got a big ceremony coming in, and so he's like, you have until then, like, we'll bring you to the village. I don't know the actual name for the memory's a little bit fried. We'll take, like, at the ceremony is when your contract's like, that's gonna be your last day. That's when we're gonna sell you to another family. And then there's like, dude, like, I'm a slave. And then he's like, no, we're selling your services. So you're only kind of a slave. You're selling your contract. But yeah, they send him over there, and then, like, in the meantime, until then, they kind of just put him on like shit duty. They're like, live in this little cottage outside the palace. Like, you can, you can clean up, you can clean up cow manure or something, I guess, dude, and just fuck off. And then they go over to the moon. They're on the village, and then Dara's like, I'm fucking fried, dude. It's over. It's done for. And Rock's like, dude, chill. Like, you know what? My family's kind of rich. We can buy you. And then Dara's like, dude, no offense, but your family don't have the same kind of pull as the Arch Governor of Mars. Mars is like top tier. They own all the mining. Like, literally all of our power comes from Mars's mining stuff. They're a little bit more powerful. And so he's freaking out. And then Victra, she, again, that girl's sister, she's like, listen, Darrow, I got you. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, you're not going to buy me. Your family's all about, like, their entire family is just merchants. Like, they only care about money. And he's like, your mom's not going to take that risk. She's not going to buy my contract. Like, if she is, it's just going to be able to sell me to the balonies for even hella more money. Yeah, and then Victor's like, no, 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 no. I don't fuck with my family. You gotta trust me here. We're gonna go down into the Undercity and meet up with my friend. And then there's like, I don't know about that one, Chief, because we're in the village, and here people aren't allowed to, like, challenge you to a duel, because again, the Golds like to just duel each other to the death, but it's not permitted in the village that they're in. So he's kind of, that's like a safe haven for in there. But if he steps outside, it's fair game. But she's like, nah, trust me, trust me. And then he's like, okay, well, I guess this is my only option. Like, there's nothing really else I can do. So they go out. She's got like a whole team of Greys. They like go out in ghost cloaks, their Harry Potter invisible cloak shit. They go out and they make it to the Undercity. This place is just, it's kind of, I mean, it's like the Undercity in Arcane, just people just chilling. But they go into this bar, And and then she's like, all right, this is where my friend, we're gonna meet up with him. Daryl walks in and he sees a familiar face sitting at one of the tables. None other than the Jackal. See, the Jackal, that's the arch governor of Mars's son, if you don't remember. And he, oh, also, I forgot for the other kid of the arch governor, Mustang, she do not fuck with Darrow anymore. She was like, do not go to the academy. Like, stay here with me. You're better than this. You're not just a weapon. And he's like, babe, I gotta do what I gotta do. And then he went to the academy, and so she was like, all right, fuck you. And then she disappeared off. Hasn't heard from her since. But yeah, so Jackal's there. He's like, yo, Darrow, my boy. See, you're in a tough spot. How about this? We work together. We're gonna build up my power, and then we're gonna kind of just take over everything. Like, fuck my dad. We're gonna take over. Like, we got to team up and build up some power. And Darrow's like, shit. Yeah, I guess it's my only option. Sounds good. And he's like, I'm making a deal with the devil, but you know what? I'm gonna use him before he can use me. And then in comes a Pink. And Darrow's like, this girl looks kind of familiar. And then she goes up and gives the Jackal a gift. I forget exactly what it was, but she gave him something and then said it was from someone or something like that. Doesn't really matter. And Darrow's like, wait, hold on. I believe it was Evie was her name. She's the one that was owned by the carver that turned him into a gold. And then he was like, fuck you, you can't own her anymore. She's joining us. So she's the one that's part of the Sons of Ares. And then he grabs her hand. He's like, yo, I want this one. I'm going to take her upstairs. And Jackal's like, oh, my man, hell yeah. And so they go upstairs. And as they're like, whenever they get outside, she's like, we got to go. She's like, Darrow, what the hell are you doing here? We got to go. And Darrow's like, what do you mean? And then she's like, I can't explain it now. Get out. And then Darrow's like, oh, fuck. Turns on his grab boots that let him fly. He flies down, grabs the Jackal, flies out of the building, and then it fucking explodes. Whole building's poof. Kills so many, because like they're at the bottom of Mars. It's like a big what's that Star Wars city where it's just all one just giant block of concrete. They're at the bottom of one of those, and it explodes like the building, and like it's on a corner, and I'm sure many people died. It didn't really go too far into detail, but he saves Jackal's life. It was an assassination attempt. Turns out the Jackal was looking into the Sons of Ares, and he was getting a little bit too. He had a good sniffer on him, so he was getting too close, and they went to just assassinate him, but Darrow saved his life. Also, at this point, there had been lots of just terrorist attacks, like just bombings, killing of kids, like bombing schools and shit like that. And Darrow's like, that can't be the Sons of Ares. They're way more organized than this. And like the arch governor, that's what they were talking about when they introduced Plenty. That's what it was. They were talking about like, oh, this can't be the Sons of Ares. This has to be just like copycats or something. Because like throughout, it's been years at this point that he was at the academy and stuff. There's just been a growing like amount of riots and stuff. Like people are actually getting pissed. Like low colors are starting, like, because they still got those greens hacking into the systems and showing on the holo cam, the TVs, like, hey, you guys shouldn't live for this. So there's been some chaos going on, but they didn't believe it was the Sons of Ares. Turns out that girl that Darrow knew was working with the Sons of Ares just did it. So he follows her, or she told him where their hideout was. There's a little bit in between the walking upstairs and the explosion. So he goes to their hideout, and then he goes up to like the camera outside the door, and he's like, I surrender, here's all my weapons. He goes and gets in, they chain him up. bring him inside, put a bag on his head, and then he is sitting down, and he hears a familiar voice. It was the girl. Oh, is it Harmony? Is that her name? Hold up. I think I got it right here. Give me 1 second. Sons of Mary. I think it was Harmony was her. Hold on. Wait a minute. Yeah, I think her name's Harmony. Either way, she was the one that was her and Dancer were the two that like he knew at the start. She shows up, he hears her voice, and he's like, "Can I stop pretending now?" She's like, "Yeah," and he just fucking breaks the chains, and then he's like, "Hey, what's up? What's been going on? Why have you guys not said a word to me since the Institute?" And she's like, "Sorry, dog. Dancer's dead." And then also like we just haven't really had time, and we're too busy with committing bombings of schools. Like, kind of busy here. And he's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, hold up, Dancer's dead?" And she's like, "Yeah, he got kind of like his base got raided, and we just had to listen over the comms of him just a massacre going on. We got a little bit too feisty, and the goal just decided to come down and murder us." Yeah. So what we're gonna need you to do is at the ceremony, you're gonna bring a bomb with you, and you're just gonna explode the entire thing. And he's like, "Oh, okay. Why?" And she's like, "Well, this is our only option at this point. Like, Dancer's dead. Ares isn't talking to us. We're fucked, and we gotta at least make." And like, she also, what'd she do? She showed him something. That's what was like the turning point. Oh, this is what it was. She showed him the footage of his wife getting hanged, and remember in the first one, she whispered something to Dios, which I believe is her brother or her sister, I think. She whispered something to them, and he didn't know what it was. But then the hollow cam footage, they could up the volume. Turns out she was pregnant. Yeah. So now he's pissed by that. He's like, "You know what? Fuck it. Yeah, let's go bomb him." And then so he goes back to the village, and then he goes up to Rock, and he's like, "Rock, I'm sorry, but I'll explain it later." And then just fucking hits him with a quick sleepy by like syringe. He gives him a quick little dose of heroin, makes him go to sleep, as one does. And then so they head up to the ceremony. It's him. Who was the other guy? Tacitus and Victra. They're all like praetors of the archgovernor, which is kind of like their knights, I guess. So he's bringing them up. Like, they're all walking up there. They're talking. They're like, "All right, here's like the plan. We're gonna blah 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 blah." And then the sovereign, she's like, "Yeah, so here's the rules. You cannot have no weapons, no grab boots. Like, you can have your razor with you because like everyone's wants the razor, but like no bodyguards or anything like that. Like, it's gonna be a peaceful night." And so they go up. They don't have those people with them. They do have bodyguards actually, but whenever they get to the elevator up to the top, because it's like just a big tower basically, they have to get on the elevator with the Balonies. No. Yes? They get on the elevator with one of the families they don't like. I don't think Cassius wasn't there. So maybe it wasn't the Balonies. But they get on the families, people they don't like, and like someone's like, "Listen, dude, like Archgovernor, we can't be doing this. It's risky." And he's like, "No, we're gonna do it anyways." They ride up the elevator. It actually worked out fine. An issue really. They came up, they went and sat at their table, and then in walks Yup. The girl that he is, yeah, he's like falling for her at this point. But she's walking in, he's like, "Holy shit." And then with her is, you'll never guess, Cassius. Got his arm around her. Whew, that got Daryl real mad. The boy that was like a brother to him in the Institute, and then they fell out because he killed his brother. Now got his girl. Whew, sheesh. So Darrow's like, fuck, and then he like plants the bomb under his table because it's just like a little pin. And so he's like fucking angry. He's like, I need some air. He goes and like goes out to the side, and he's also like debating. He's like, do I really want to kill like thousands of people? Because like this is again, this is like it's like the Oscars of the golds, you know? Like, actually, I don't even know what the ceremony was for. But basically, it's a big old thing. Like, they have all the top families there, like all the big dogs there. Like, if he blows this place up, thousands die, but also it's like the most important families. It turns this place into chaos. Unfortunately, he dies with them. But like, you know what? I mean, actually, I guess he could escape. But yeah, so he's like freaking out about it. He goes and stands at like the edge and looks over like into the depths, and he's like, do I want to do this? And then he goes back to the table, and he's something, well, just yapping really goes on. He's like, you know what, fuck this. And then he gets up and just storms over to the bologna table. Everyone's watching him, like it's the sovereign, and like the ceremony started. She started already talking, and just in the middle of it, he just gets up, storms over. She's like, okay. And like her bodyguards, they call them Furies, they start getting up, and she's like, nah. Let's see what happens. She also has named Cassius. By the way, I forgot to mention this. Has been named one of the Olympic Knights. The Olympic Knights are like the fucking top. Like it's like SEAL Team 6, basically. They're the top dogs. Actually, we don't know the names of any SEAL Team 6, so maybe not. Maybe shit. I don't know. We don't really have anything similar to it in real life because we don't have anything where like everyone knows the warriors' names because fucks. I mean, yeah. But yeah, I guess if everyone knew SEAL Team 6's names, kind of like that. But yeah, so he's storming over, and he's like, Cassius, fuck you, man. I declare a duel. And then people are like, dude, you're an idiot. Actually, no, this is outside the village, so it's not in the protective zone. And people are like, dude, this is kind of like bad timing, bro. Like, read the room. But like Darrow's talking mad shit. He's like, yeah, I killed your brother. What you gonna do about it, little baby back bitch? And so Cassius is pissed, and he kind of looks at the sovereign. She's like, yeah, go ahead. And so Cassie's like, all right, fuck it, yeah, let's duel to the death. Or actually, they didn't say. It was just like let's duel, yeah. And so they set up, and then like he flings out his razor. Darrow's razor, remember, is the sling blade, which I was correct in that. Actually, I'm not. It's not 100. I thought it was like, because it says scythe, he's the reaper, but I think it's a sickle. And I have the third book right in front of me now, the physical, and it's a sickle on the third book. So I'm going with that. I don't know where they got fucking scythe from, but it's a sickle. And that makes way more sense with how they described it and everything. But yeah, so he flings it out. Cassius has his, and then they start fighting. They're like, this is going to be a sweep. Cassius is literally the top dog of, like, he's been through all the dueling courts in Luna. Like, he's literally destroyed everyone here to get to his role. He's an Olympic Knight. Darrow, so he like gets ready, and then absolutely just fucking decimates Cassius. Like, he's playing with him. He's literally just taunting him. He's like slicing him a little bit, jumping back, just fucking with him. And everyone's surprised. He's like, yeah, I learned from Lorne, the Rage Knight. Lorne used to be an Olympic Knight. He was the Rage Knight. There's like different ones. I don't remember all of them. There's like Rage, like kind of, I guess, emotions like that. But yeah, Lorne was like literally top. Like, he's literally a myth. Like, more legend than man. This guy is like, nobody even, like, some people don't even believe he exists. He's that fucking crazy. This guy like took over planets on his own, basically, type beat. He's like, yeah, I've been studying with Lorne, and just destroys Cassius, cuts off his arm, and he's like got his razor up to his knife or to his neck, and he's like, I'm gonna kill your boy right in front of you, to his family. And they're trying to like rush in to help, but their dad's like holding him back. He's like, nope, it's a duel. He agreed to it. And then the sovereign, she yells stop, because she turns out is a big fan of the Balonies. Her plan actually, is it revealed here? Yes. It's revealed at about this time. Wait, no, it's not revealed quite yet. But she's a big fan of our boy Cassius. She appointed him the Olympic Knight. She's like, stop this. Don't stop. Stop. What are you doing? What's wrong with you? You can't be doing this. And then everyone's like, Sovereign Miss Octavia DeLune, this is a duel, and unless it's specified that it's to forfeit, it's to the death. Like the default's to the death. Like he's gonna die. And she's like, no, you're not allowed. Can't do it. And everyone's like, he's like, really? So the way she rose to power was that she literally beheaded her dad because he started thinking that he was above the law and deciding rules himself. And he's like, someone apple doesn't fall far from the tree, huh, buddy? And so she's like, fuck, shit, he just embarrassed me in front of everyone. I just dropped my phone. So she kind of gets called out there. And so he's like, you know what? And then Arch Governor is watching. He's like, do it. And then he's like, And then all of a sudden, chaos breaks loose. Baloney's family comes in to help. Everyone's fighting. Shit happens. People die. Not really important people, because it doesn't even name them. But people die. They got to run off to safety. And then they run away. They run back to the village. And then they get back. It is... Yeah. They get back to the village. Like, we gotta fucking go, dude. Like, this is not good. Get the ships ready. And then on their way back, though, some obsidians. So they've introduced now the stained obsidians. These are like top dog obsidians. These are the fucking pit bulls, dude. Like, these guys are strong, built for fighting. They're built to kill golds. They land down like an army of them, along with a gold guy leading them. They're like, yeah, Darrow, you're coming with us. The rest of you, you're back to your little Casa de la Augustus, the Mars guys. You're going back to your little village cottage, and you can wait there. And we're gonna get everything solved. And so Darrow is like, they're out, like they're fucked if they try and fight this. So Darrow's like, okay, promise you're not gonna kill him. The guy's like, dude, if we want to kill you guys, like you'd be dead already. Like, chill. We gotta figure this out. So he goes with them, and then he goes to the Sovereign's castle. I think it's just kind of a big penthouse. He's above the clouds in Mars. On the moon at least. But they go back there, and she comes in. She's like, Darrow, my boy, let's play a game. And he's like, okay. And then she's like, all right, here's these two little leeches. She has one of her boys bringing up. I should also mention the people in the room with them. So there's Aja, AJA. She is one of the Furies, like one of the Sovereign's bodyguards. There's a little boy. His name is very long, and I can't remember. It's like Lucanasmer. I don't know. He's the Sovereign's grandchild, though. And she's like, yeah, he's going to be my, like, he's going to be the one that takes over after I'm gone. She's like over 100 years old, but she has cell regenerative surgery a bunch, so she's still like in her prime. She's basically able to live forever. But she's like, yeah, and then some other bodyguards and shit. And then Fitchner. Fitchner's the teacher from the first book. He was the Mars teacher. He's the one that flew down and helped him, and he's Sebro's dad. So he's chilling there, and then she's like, all right, let's play a game. Fitchner, bring the leeches. And so Fitchner brings the leeches. Fitchner is also a Olympic Knight, by the way. He is just crazy because like he started out like not a well-known person. Like he wasn't from like a powerful family or anything. He kind of low-key like he's a self-made man, like Kylie Jenner, self-made billionaire. Um, so he brings over the leeches, and she's like, you know what these do? And he's like, nope. And she's like, so you put them on you, and they start sucking, and then if you tell a lie, they poison you. Yeah. So she's like, let's play a quick game. First one to lie loses. If you win, you can join me as a bodyguard. Um, if you lose, you die. He's like, I don't want to be a bodyguard. So, no. And she's like, too bad, we're playing. And so they start playing. She's asking him questions. He's freaked the fuck out because if she asks him, hey, are you a red? He's dead. Like, simple as that. If he says yes, he doesn't get poisoned, but he gets slain. If he says no, he gets fucking poisoned and outed and everything. So he's fucking stressing a little bit. But she doesn't ask that. They just kind of ask questions back and forth. She's like, hey, like, are you working with, what's it? Fuck, I forget. She said something that was like kind of close. She was like, are you the one that exploded so and so, or something like that? Or no. Is the arch governor the one that's doing the terrorist acts? That was it, I think. And he's like, no. But he's like, oh, fuck, I know who did it though. I'm not telling her. So there's kind of shit like that. But he gets through it. He asks her. She actually finds out some important stuff. He asks her for coordinates to like important locations, and she's like, okay, here you go. And then Mustang comes in. And actually, yeah. One of the questions was whether or not, like, he was like, this is where it's revealed that she is planning to have the Balonies take over Mars instead of the Augustuses, who's the current arch governor. So that's revealed, and then Mustang comes in. Actually, I think she was already in when this happens, and she's like, yeah, I know. But then he's like, do you plan on killing the arch governor of Mars and the and Jackal? And then she's like, no. And then the leech starts squirming, and then it reveals she's lying, and then Fincher cuts off her before it can actually poison her. And Mustang's like, what the hell, man? You told me you wouldn't do that. What the fuck? I told you just blah, 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 blah. And then, she's like, oh, Mustang, come on, baby. Like, just a little bit of gilding. And so Mustang screeches, like, leaves, pissed off. And then the Moon Queen, she's like, bro, fuck, go to your room, like, you're gonna join us as a knight. And he's like, I don't have an option, do I? And she's like, nope, you're joining us. And so he doesn't say that he's gonna join her, but he, like, lets her think that he is. So he goes up to his room, and he's locked in there. I guess it's a dark story night. He's got a pink in there that is like, come on, come to bed with me. And he's like, fuck off, what the hell? And so he's up in his room, and then all of a sudden he sees just a fucking figure floating outside. He's like, what the hell is this? What the hell? And then he gets over, like, away from the window, because he's like, this dude's about to break in. And sure enough, a jam field goes up, so there's just silence. And then the figure fucking breaks through the window. And guess who it is? It's Severo. Severo, the fucking legend. He's the Howler. He had been sentenced to Pluto. He was way far away
Darrow hadn't seen him in years. Like, they texted every once in a while, but Severo just kind of sent him memes, and he's like, I don't fucking know, like, what the hell, this weirdo. But yeah, this season was like, bro, we're fried. Here's some armor and shit, get ready, and then he had a bag, and he throws the bag on the ground, and it swerves, and Darrow's like, oh, you fucking animal. And then it cuts to them flying back to the village. They're like, we gotta save the Arch-Governor, like, they're literally, Baloney's going in right now to slay them all. And Aja's helping them. And so they fly in. They're like, oh fuck! They get to the little cottage that they're in. It's not a cottage; it's a fucking mansion. I'm forgetting the word though. Like it's like a vista. Is that the V word? Whatever the fancy word. Whatever. They get there and it's fucking empty. And they're like, oh no! And then they realize there's a jam field. They go past it and it just screams. The Baloney's, their boys, they're just slaughtering everybody in there. And they're like, oh, fuck. And then Darrow sees, who does he see? I think it's Aja. He sees someone, down at, like, the courtyard. He's like, fuck, I gotta go. And Severo's like, dude, this is a terrible idea. No. And then he does it anyways. He flies and he's like, where are they, blah? And then somebody tells him, like, oh, the important people fled to the water, and they're hiding under there with their oxygen masks. So he goes over there. It wasn't Aja I saw there. It was like somebody, it was like one of the workers, they were like not sure if he was a, like, spy or not. Oh, sorry. And so he goes down, he's like, where are they? And then they're like, at the bar. And then they go over to the water, and Aja's there just sitting, she's just waiting him out. She's like, checking her watch. Oh, we got about 5 minutes left of oxygen. And so they go over, and then they are like, Aja, what? And then Darrow tries to lie to her. He's like, Octavia, the sovereign, she called it off. She called it off. You're not supposed to be doing this anymore. And she's like, bro. And then Octavia literally speaks through Aja, like, nice try, bitch. And then he's like, all right, well, then what about this? Opens up the bag. Guess who's inside? The fucking grandson. And the grandson's low-key a G. He's kind of cool. But they fucking put a knife to his throat, and he's like, okay, so here's the deal. You let them go, we get on a ship, and we fly away, or else I'm going to slit this boy's throat. They found Quinn. I think that's who they ran into, where she told them where they're at. Quinn is, she was one of the people from the Institute. She's the girl that Rock is really into. And then, no, never mind. Quinn is with Severo and the other Howlers. Quinn is one of the Howlers, yes, and Rock's into her, but Severo's also into her. Never mind. Yeah, they're getting everyone away. They got everyone up on the ship, and then it's just, it's Darrow, Quinn, and the boy that Darrow's got a knife to with him. They start floating up to go up to the ship, and then Aja gets a look in her eye. And he's like, oh, don't you fucking do it. I'm going to slit his throat. And then she fucking grabs Quinn out of the air. She flies up, slams her in the ground, just punches her in the head over and over until her brains are fucking bleeding out of her skull. Brutal. And Darrow's like, fuck, like, I can't really do shit because this isn't enough to really kill the kid. We're kind of like, they realized we got one bargaining chip and that's it. We don't have a backup plan. I can't kill the good for this. We still got to get everyone else away. So he just kind of has to sit and watch. And then Aja's like, suck up. And then they get the kid up. They bring Quinn's fucking dying body out. And she's like, and then Jackal's like, oh fuck, we gotta, like, blah blah blah. He somehow all of a sudden knows how to do medical stuff, and so he's like trying to help her as best he can. Rock's fucking looking lifeless because the love of his life he finally got reunited with, and then now she's gone. Though again, he was in Alita before. He seems to be switching up with girls, and so he's fucking sad. Severo is just pissed. He's like, fuck, I love her, but I didn't have told her. And then, so Jackal tries to save her as they're flying away, and they're like, we gotta get her to a med bay now. Like, she's dead if we don't. And so they're going, they start flying out, so they have like a convoy out in outer space already ready for them with a med bay on one of those ships. Because right now they're in like a what's it called? Mustang was the one flying this, by the way. Mustang's flying in with a like a transport thing, like a cargo kind of spaceship. And they're like, oh fuck. So they go up, they get Quinn on like a kind of stretcher type beat where she's like at least laying down, but she's elevated so that the blood's flowing a decent bit at least to try and reduce the brain swelling. And so they're going there. They bring the grandson up, and again, he's a G. He's like, I get it, guys. Like, I'm a good bargaining chip. Like, that's cool. Darrow, bro, you're the Reaper. You're my hero. Like, that's fucking sick. I get to meet you, dude. He's like, this was a smart play. Like, good job. And so they go up there, and then the arch governor, he's like, dude, send this fucking kid to like the jail cell. Like, he's getting on my nerves. And so he's like, Victra, you go and do it. And she's like, of course, I'm the only girl. I'm gonna go do it. And then Tactus is like, nah, I got it. Like, it's fine. And they start flying, and then all of a sudden they get a warning that the cargo bay is opened up, and they're like, I wonder what that is. And then they're like, somebody offered to go take the kid to jail. Fucking Tactus. Yeah, Tactus went in. He fucking beat the shit out of the two people that were sitting at the cargo bay like door, and then took the kid and ran back. And so now they're fucked. They're just fucked because now they can't escape. They got no way. Like, that was their own bargaining chip, and he's taking them back. Tactus is like, you know what? Maybe I'm not going to be on the part of the rebellion that's bad. Like, we barely got out of here. I don't know. And so they're like, fuck, we're done for. It's Jover. And then Darrow's like, you know what? Remember that trick I tried to do at the academy with the iron suit? Let's do it. And so him, Severo, and a couple of the Howlers, they get in the iron suits, and they're like aiming at the bridge, because there's literally the biggest warship that in existence, I guess, really, like the one that Luna, the Octavia, like the Sovereign's warship is there. And he's like, send us right into the bridge of it. And so they do. And he fucking flies in. He pukes in his suit, and it's awful. Severo, I think, shits himself. Very fun time, but they fly into the bridge. They fucking murder everyone in there. The Blues that are controlling the ship, he's like, listen, I just took over your ship. You work for me now. Unfortunately, your captain died. Who's the coolest Blue? And then this one girl shows up. She's like, let me in this bitch. Let me control it. And then the other Blue's like, no, don't listen to her. She's just a fucking dock worker. Like, I don't even know how she got on here, but she's a lowly dock worker. She barely has managed to become part of this crew. Like, I studied the arts of naval combat. I went to so-and-so academy. But Darrow's like, you know what? I kind of fuck with her. Like, she's a human. She's not just jacked into a fucking matrix all the time like these other ones. And so he lets her be the captain. And then he goes over the intercom, and he's like, listen, everybody on this ship. And then meanwhile, they open up the cargo bay for the cargo ship to come in, or the shuttle bay, whatever, for the rest of the people to come in. Because at this time, also, there's ships flying out to the one that they were in with, they're called like leech crafts or something, but they're basically, they're like little docking fucking things for them to come and go on the ship and kill people. And so he's like, listen, everyone on board. Because there's they only took out the bridge this time. Everyone else, all the other golds in there, they're still walking around. They're actually heading to where the Arch Governor is in that ship that they came in originally, in the shuttle bay. So he's like, let me tell you something that I learned at the academy. What they tell us to do when I'm at this point is to just fucking air out the ship. Just vacuum, just send everyone out in space. It's much easier. You have no risk of anyone like as loyal to the previous people to come in and fucking take over. But I'm gonna give you an option. There's a bunch of golds heading to the shuttle bay. You guys help us out. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. You go and kill them, I won't kill you. And he's like, how that works. And then all of a sudden he hears just this booming voice. He's like, who are you? And then he's like, Darrow. And the guy's like, are you God? And he's like, no. And he's like, where are you at? And Darrow's like, the bridge. And he's like, all right. You said we won't kill us if we kill everyone else. He's like, yeah. And then he's like, okay. And then the guy's like, I'll see you soon. He's like, wait, hold up, what? And then just fucking all of a sudden, it's like the running Titan in Attack on Titan, just the armor Titan. That's how I imagined it. Just this big fucking obsidian, sustained obsidian, flying through the ship. Guy looks like a fucking beast, just taking everyone out of his way, just running through people, killing them instantly. Flies in. There's a bunch of golds trying to break into the bridge. They got like the fucking classic scene where they're cutting a hole into the door. They're doing that to him, and he's a little bit freaked out about it. He's like, oh, we're kind of fucked. But then this guy comes in, he's like, oh, never mind, they're fucked. And this guy just flies in, fucking massacres everyone, and then there's a tiny hole in the door at this point, and he looks through, and the guy's like, I did it, boss. I killed him. And so Darrow's like, good job, buddy. Thanks. And then the guy's like, yeah, I'm gonna go kill the rest. He's like, okay. This guy's a scary fucking motherfucker. He could probably kill Darrow. And Darrow's in this big Iron Man suit. Remember, he's in the Hulkbuster suit. And so they managed to get the ship taken over. This Obsidian guy, his name is Ragnar. And it kind of explains the lore here where, like, the Obsidians actually tried to do an uprising once. But the Gold snuffed that out, and then they actually took away like technology from them. They like introduced them to the Nordic gods, sent them to like the poles of the planet, so like they're constantly in like winter, and then like basically told them like the Golds are gods, like they're part of the gods. Like if you anchor them, you're all gonna die, shit like that. So they're scared of that. They're scared of technology because they think it's like sinful, basically. So it kind of just explains that, but basically, fast forwards, they're on the ship. They're running from Octavia. They don't make it to Mars in time. So now Octavia, or I think the Balonies got Mars, so they can't hide back there. They're just flying around trying to find any hope. And so they come up with a plan where they're going to go out to the outer planets, like so Saturn's moons. So Octavia, the Sovereign, she's got a boy called the Ash Lord. And I think she was called Ash, I don't know, it just says the Ash Lord. But basically one of Saturn's moons tried to have like a rebellion. And what they did was they just fucking exploded the whole planet, and now it's all ash. And so that's how they got the name the Ash Lord. But they were like, you know what, let's go out and try and find some allies. We got a plan, and then Darrow, I think it's the coordinates of the things he asked about her, but there's one of those Saturn moons is like the shipbuilders kind of. It might be a Saturn, I don't know. There's basically, he's like, you know what, there's a shipbuilding place we can go and get some free ships. Like, let's go there. They're not going to kind of expect that. They had allies from one of the outer planets on their way, but they're like 5 months out. And then Pax, remember Pax, the guy that just yelled his name every time you go into battle? His brother and his dad are with them on the ship. And they're just funny. Like, the dad just feeds jelly beans to his pet Pox. He's like, look at the jelly beans. And so they're out helping them. And then they're like, let's go to battle. And then they're like, dude, we can't go to battle right. He's like, I want to fight. And they're like, we gotta chill. Like, chill, bro. And then, yeah. So, and then Darrow's like, okay, I gotta see if I can convince Lorne to help us. So Darrow flies down to Lorne's planet, and he's like, yo, my buddy, my boy, my old professor, you trying to help us fight? And then Lorne's like, bro, look at where we are. They're on this ocean planet, basically. Uh, it's his own planet. Lorne owns a fucking planet. That's how crazy he is. Except for, like, also it's in the, like, our solar system, so I don't know what planet it's supposed to be. Maybe it's one of the moons, or maybe it's, like, an artificial planet. Either way, he's got his whole family living with him on the planet. He's like, dude, I really, like, no, like, I'm chilling. Like, I don't want to go back to battle. I got to retire. I was, like, the fucking killer guy. You know, I'm the chill grandpa. Like, no, I'm good. But then Darrow's like, why are we turning on that shirt too? Darrow's like, unfortunately, you're gonna have to. And then, what was it? Actually, I don't know what he said. Something along those lines where he's like, come on, bro. And then, like, it shows, like, Darrow's got his ship above, and then it's revealed that Aja and the rest of the Sovereign's boys are also there, and they anticipated this, and Lorne's like, I'm sorry, dog, but, like, they threatened my grandkids. I don't fuck with people. I don't fuck with fucking with my grandkids. Like, I'm doing what's best for them. I'm just trying to stay out of it. And then Aja comes down, and then they fight. Aja escapes, and then Darrow's like, you realize now she thinks you're helping me, so you're kind of forced on her team. Lorne's like, shit, you're right, okay. So he joins them, brings up his family with them. They're on the ship, and then they go, and then they go just kind of walk on to one of the, like, the planet that builds the ships. They're like, come here, give us, and then everyone watching is like, holy shit. Wait, no. Never mind. Sorry. While he's down there, there was an uprising. Not an uprising, but a rebellion. Sorry. I forgot. While he was down there and getting those ships, when he comes back, all of a sudden, guess what? Pliny, the backstabbing bastard, fucking took out the sovereign, or he took over and captured the Archgovernor of Mars, Augustus, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna take him over, we're gonna give him to Octavia, and we're gonna get her good favor, we're gonna be fine, we're gonna be chilling. But then Darrow walks on, he's like, oh my god, I thought you were dead. And everyone's like, he told us you were dead. And then he's like, yeah, bro. That's whenever they just walk onto the ship, and everyone's like looking at him like, holy fuck. And they just walk through that issue. And so they take it back over. He lands down in their, like, meeting room. He's like, so, you guys are clearly all snakes. You turn against us instantly. You chase power. It just makes sense. It's human nature. I'm gonna give you a chance. We're gonna leave the room, and you're gonna deal with Pliny as you think we should see fit. Pliny gets fucking murdered, obviously, and they got the ship back. And now they prepare for the Iron Rain. What the Iron Rain is you remember the suits? Remember the Iron Man Hulkbuster suits? They got a couple of those. They're going back, they're retaking Mars. Turns out, for some reason, Octavia, she's chilling on Mars. They find this out, they're like, okay, time for our assault of Mars. They all go in, and sorry, I need something right. They fly in, they fucking fly down to Mars, they assault it, and then they take it over, they're chilling. Sorry, what? No, I'm sorry. No, they lay down on Mars, they're fucking, it's absolute just chaos. Like, it's war. They're just fucking deaths everywhere. Darrow's freaking out because, like, his boy, the Howl, or one of them just got fucking shot. Like, she just fucking exploded. And he's like, holy fuck, she just exploded. Okay. And so it's all this chaos. They fly up. They run into, who is it that they run into? They run into, I believe it's Cassius's brother, actually. Him and some of his Obsidian boys. And at this point too, he's got with Darrow is him, the Howlers, and then Ragnar, that Obsidian dude. At this point too, he has told Ragnar that like he's like, listen, like, because Ragnar's like, I'll be your slave, and then Darrow's like, no, you're not going to be my slave, you're going to be my lieutenant. And Ragnar's like, no, but I'm a slave, you're God. And he's like, nobody, no, I'm not going to accept you as a slave. You're going to have to make that decision on your own. And so Ragnar's like, fuck, okay. And then like he kind of battles with it, but then he ultimately decides that he'll be his lieutenant, not his slave. And then Severo, you'll find out that later. Actually, no. Yeah, it's revealed around this point. Severo, yeah? Yes? No? Yes. Yes. Severo reveals to him before the Iron Rain, that he knows that he's a red. Because he's like, don't give me this bullshit anymore. Like, tell me some truth. And then Darrow's like, I'm afraid of the dark. And Severo's like, dude, come on. You gotta trust me, or else, you know what? If you don't tell me right now, or I'm gone forever. And Darrow's like, all right, I'm a red. And then Severo's like, yeah, I know. Sons of Ares came and they told me that's how I got to the moon, dude. Like, how do you think I got there? How do you think I knew? I went for fucking Pluto. Duh. And so they get that all sorted. And then now they're back down on there, and then there's Cassius's brother, that they're fighting, or it's Cassius, one of the two. It's some baloney guy with his army of obsidians, and they run into it's Darrow, Severo, Ragnar, the Howlers, and then the baloney guy drops an EMP. And so, literally, like, just all of them just fucking collapse. Their suits just turn off power. Now they're just in iron casts. Like, this shit weighs a ton. Doesn't have the hydraulics to help it move and shit. Like, they're just stuck in there. They fall into the fucking river, too. So they're just sitting at the bottom of the river. Darrow's just, like, he's fucked. He's cooked. Like, he's done for. So he's sitting there, and he's like, wait, hold on a second. I got my razor. So he gets his razor out, like it's like on it, like he barely has enough stuff to move it, but he uses it and he cuts off his fucking arm, because it's like, does he cut off his arm? Maybe he doesn't. I think he cuts off his arm. He cuts something and then cuts himself out of the armor and then goes, swims back up, finds Ragnar, cuts him out, swims back up, finds everyone else, and they cut everyone else to get them out. And whenever they get up to the top, actually no, he just cut out Ragnar before he swam up, because they swam up to the top after that, and they saw the baloney guy and his boys just kind of walking around, just fucking laughing, just killing the people that didn't land in the river. Just, ooh, let me stab him in the head real quick. Shit like that. This gets Darrow pissed, and then they go and fucking slay some dudes. And then they kill all those guys off. And then they go back down, save the rest of them. Comes back up, and he's like, Ragnar, take this. And he gives him a fucking razor. And razors, like, that's for golds only. Like, you do not give non-golds a razor. That's just not okay. So he, like, shit. Like, bro, you just, like, fuck. Everyone, people watching, like, I don't know about that one, Chief. Like, I don't know. That's a little. But then he's like, listen, we're at war. This doesn't fucking matter right now. Anyone that disagrees, fuck off. And then, like, they're all like, okay. And then one person still was, like, kind of, like, bro, it doesn't matter. And then Severo gave him a look, and they were one of the Howlers, so like, fine, I guess it's okay. And so they just they go, and they storm the Mars city that the Sovereign was at, but they're like 16 miles away, 16 kilometers actually. I think they use metric. So they're fucking far, but they're running towards it, and they're like, shit, she's gonna fly away. They're just running towards it, and they get to the wall though, and they like climb up it, and Darrow sees sees a bunch of people running to shuttles. He's like, ah, fuck. And Severan's like, dude, no, don't go down to Sovereign. And then Darrow jumps down and runs after him. He runs, jumps up on the ship that the Sovereign got onto, climbs up. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you guys. And then she's like, dude, like, it's you, you're fucked up. Like, you're bleeding bad. You sure about that one, buddy? And then he pulls out a grenade. He's like, yeah, I'm sure. And they're like, oh, fuck. But then, because it's the Sovereign, Octavia, Aja, Fitchner, and then the baloney guy. I think it's Claudius. No, whatever. It's not Cassius. It's Cassius's brother. I don't think it's Claudius. I think Claudius. Yeah, because Claudius was the Archgovernor's son. Because the Archgovernor, of Mars, Augustus, his favorite son was Claudius, but then Claudius got murdered by this guy because he challenged this guy to a duel after this guy fucked his girlfriend. It's another name like that though. It's like Caxus, I think. I think it's Caxus. Doesn't really matter too much. But so it's them up there, and he pulls out the grenade. He's like, "You land this fucking ship now, or we're all dying." And then they whisper something to the pilot. Pilot does a fucking barrel roll, knocks him over. They kick the grenade because he drops the grenade. They kick it out and it explodes fucking outside the ship. And then he's like, "Oh, fuck! I do not have a bargaining chip again. Did it again. Oopsie." And so Darrow, and then so Octavia's like, all right, well, we better just fucking kill this dude. He's an idiot. Like, might as well. Bye-bye. Or she's like, I think, yeah. And she orders Aja to kill her, and then Caxus is like, no, let me do it. I want to do it. I gotta defend my family. And Fisher's like, no, don't kill him. He's my student. We can still change him. I love him. And then Octavia's like, what was that, Fisher? And he's like, we can at least hang him, like, so it's like a public thing. Like, we can't. Why are we killing him just right now? Like, I know we got the cameras in here because they got the little ring with the nano cameras on it. He's like, all right, Fitchner, you kill him. And then Caxus is like, fuck, dude, someone go, and then he goes in and he slices Darrow's belly. But then Darrow kills Caxus. But he's like bleeding out. He's like fucking like in and out. Like he thinks he's already dead. And he hears Fitchner talking. And then Fitchner's like, Darrow, you silly boy. I had all this already planned out. He ruined my plans. Fucking turns around, kills fucking Sovereign, kills fucking other one. He's like, dude, guess what? I'm Ares. Yeah. Sons of Ares. The whole thing. Yeah. It was Fitchner the whole time. Severo's dad, fucking some random ass dude that like, he kinda helped him a few times, but he seemed like he hated him. Yeah. He fucking, head explode, but then Darrow passes out from blood loss, and then he wakes up in the hospital bed. Mustang's there, cuddling up on him, and then they're like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Severo talks to him, he's like, and Darrow's like, dude, do you know who your dad is? And Severo's like, who do you think fucking told me, idiot? And then, yeah. So, they kind of, like, yay, they won the battle, they took over, then Mars is now theirs. Fast forwards to now he's all healed up, they're taking him to the ceremony to, like, there's a whole parade he's going down, and they're like, yeah, our fucking victor, yeah, King of Mars, fuck yeah, we love the Archgovernor Augustus, he's the new King of Mars, yeah, blah, blah, blah. They do the ceremony, and then they go to, and then the Archgovernor's like, let us be alone. And Darrow's fucking terrified. He's like, oh, he found me out. Fuck, I'm fucked. And then Archgovernor's like, Daryl, my boy, how do you think about being my boy? You want to be my heir? You're my heir. And Daryl's like, holy fuck, yes, this is exactly what I needed. Now I can kill him and then become the truth, the king of Mars, and then it gives me the power. Fuck yeah, we did it. And then they go to it's like an after ceremony thing where it's like kind of like a more private event. There's still a decent amount of people there, but it's like a smaller thing. And then like Daryl gets like crowned. I think it's to make him the heir, I guess. Yeah. And so, actually, sorry, in between this time, before that happens, Daryl's like, before like the ceremony and everything, uh, whenever he's talking to Severo and Augustus, or in Fitchner, he's like, okay, I need one thing though. Before I continue this, I gotta see my family. And so he goes down into the mines, into Lycos is where he's from, the red mining village. He goes down there, he fucking, Mustang, because they're like, he's like, I gotta tell Mustang. And they're like, dude, do not trust, like that's literally, like you're asking her to betray her family. Like I know she did it in the Institute, but that was a game. That was a game, brother. You gotta remember, that was school. He's like, nah, if I can't change her mind, how could I change anyone's mind? Blah, blah, blah. So he takes her down there, and then they go up to his old house, and she's like, what are we doing here, dude? Like, what the hell? And he gives her a hollow cube thing, like a fucking orb to ponder to see. He's like, you gotta watch this. It was a recording of him getting carved up into a red, or from a red into a gold. Uh, and then he goes inside, talks to his mom. He's like, Mom, and she's like, she knew it instantly. She's like, my Darrow, I know it's you. I knew you with anybody. Blah, blah, blah. And then they have a sweet moment. And then his niece comes down. But as she's coming down, he turns on his ghost cloak. And she's like, who are you talking to, Mama? Or Grandma? And then she's like, don't worry about it. Blah, blah, blah. Go back to bed. Here's some chocolate. And then yeah. And then he goes out, Mustang's gone, he gets a call from Severo. Severo's like, dude, she's fucking going. She's, what the hell? Do you want me to shoot her down? Blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, no, don't do it. She just needs some time. And then he's like walking back, and then all of a sudden he hears a fucking scorcher, which is like the fucking guns fire, or like charge up. He's like, oh shit. It's Mustang. She took the tracker, put it on her ship out, fucking sent Severo on him. Severo and Ragnar, because they're both shadowing, out on like a little goose chase, and she's like, how could you lie to me, blah, blah, blah. And then Darrow's like, no, it's okay. People can change, blah, blah, blah. And tries to fight against her, and then Ragnar's like, you're dead, Mustang. He's in the shadows. He hears booming voice. He's like, hey, drop the fucking scorcher. You shoot him, you're dead. And then he's like, you got 10 seconds till you're dead. He just starts counting down from 10. And Darrow's like, no, Ragnar, stop it. Stop it. No. But Ragnar's like, you're not my master, dude. This is what you get for making me a lieutenant. And then he counts down, and then Mustang, whenever it's down like 2, Mustang's like, all right, let's finish this. 1. And then Ragnar comes out of the shadows, and then comes up, and then he actually drops his weapon. And he's like, don't kill him. No. There's some good in us. Cause like, her whole argument was kind of like, oh, they're fucking, no, how do you expect non-golds to understand? They got weak minds, kind of shit like that. And then he's like, look, since Ragnar can change, so can anyone. Like, you're not born that way. Reds can be poets. Shit like that. And then she's like, I need some time, and disappears. So that happened, and then the ceremony. And then they're at, like, the ceremony, like, where they're crowning Darrow. But not crowning him, but they're, like, making him, I think they're making him the heir, or it's just kind of like a reward, like a kind of, like, giving him a little thing for being, the lieutenant or the fucking Praetor that won Mars for him. And then Lorne was supposed to do it. Again, his old master that taught him how to fight. He was supposed to do it, but he was like, listen, bro, like, can I just go play with my grandkids? And there's like, yeah, Rock wanted to do it anyways. And like, all throughout this book, he's been kind of like, after he fucking made Rock go to sleep like that, Rock was like, what the hell was that, bro? Like, we chill? And then, like, they've been kind of drifting apart. And then this is him being like, yeah, well, a public display of friendship, Rock, you're still my boy. I just can't tell you everything because, I'm kind of a spy. And then so he's like trying to mend his friendship with Brock. And then like Daryl kind of sees like there's a pink moving a little weird. He's like, that's so weird. Like I don't see pinks moving with like that. They're not like what? But he doesn't pay much attention to it. And then he sees another pink, and he's like, wait a second, who are you? And this is like Rock's, like he's bringing up the box. He's got the box in his hand with like the guy's crown in it. He's like, Darrow, my boy, like you were such a good friend. We were like brothers. Like you were so good at taking over. And Darrow's like, were? What do you mean? And then Rock, fucking Rock, dude. I loved him. He has this ring on that fucking points, fucking sticks into Darrow's hand. It's some poison that paralyzes him. Fucking, and then Darrow's like, oh shit. And then Jackal is there, and Jackal's like, Darrow, you fucking mutt. And then Rock opens the box, and it's Fitchner's head. Yeah, they fucking killed Fitchner. Yeah, yikes. So, they're like, boy, you fucking disgusting boy. Actually, yeah. And they're like, you yucky. And then, like, everyone starts getting murdered. Like, it's the Red Wedding. It's straight up the Red Wedding. Everyone's getting fucking sliced and diced. And then they got everyone down. Aja comes in. Jackal, turns out, made a deal with the Sovereign. He keeps Mars in exchange for... Wait, is the Sovereign still alive then? Never mind. Wait, did they kill the Sovereign? Let me check on book 3 real quick. Maybe they didn't kill the Sovereign. I don't think they killed the Sovereign. Okay, never mind. I think the Sovereign somehow escapes then. I could be wrong with this, but I'm not far enough into book 3 to where they've talked about her much. I think she's some way or another they won Mars, okay? But yeah. So Jackal's made a deal with them, either the Sovereign or the people that took over after her, where he got to keep Mars, but in exchange they got Darrow and the Archgovernor Augustus. And so Aja comes in, she's like, thank you, Mr. Jackal, we'll be taking them from here. And then Jackal's like, hold on a second, goes up to his dad, he's like, yeah, fuck you. And then he's like, I was the best son, I loved you, I fucking did everything you said. And then Archgovernor's like, you're no son to me. And then fucking Jackal shoots him in the head. Kills his fucking dad. Aja gets pissed. She's like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? You just killed our fucking, like, we needed him. We needed him for political stuff. Like, what the hell? And then Jackal's like, you got Darrow. I gave you what you needed. And then Darrow passes out, and that's the end of the book. Yeah. So he goes from literally fucking, like, yeah, goes from the academy, second place, but still not good enough to get fired, and then fucking goes to the moon, almost explodes everyone, but then ends up being in a fight, starting a civil war between because like the whole thing with like, at the ceremony was it started a civil war, because everyone saw that the Moon Queen didn't, like, she thought she was above the law, so they're like, wait, hold on a second, like, what? And then to fucking capturing an entire planet, to now, at the ceremony for capturing the planet, his true identity gets fucking outed. He's a Red. Everyone fucking knows he's a Red. The Archgovernor's dead. He's fucking paralyzed from the poison. He can't move. He's watching his whole fucking past 10 years melt away. And that's the end of it. Book 3 is really good. I'm reading it now. It's great.